So we are ready to get started. Thank you for those who are joining us. We have people who signed up from around the world. I think technology is so amazing. It's so fun that we can join together like we're in the same room with each other, even though we're tens of thousands of miles apart. And it was fun seeing, I just wanted to ask when people were registering what state or country they were from, because I was curious to see where people were joining us from. And interestingly, almost as many people were outside of the United States as within the United States. So I thought that was neat. If you're getting on, it would be interesting to see where you're from, if you don't mind just typing in the chat box there where you're joining us from. We've got people from Australia, United Kingdom, France, Germany, several places in the U.S., Utah, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Malaysia, Mexico. So fun to see that. Welcome to everyone. We're so glad that you're here. So this is our webinar specifically for women entrepreneurs. 3 tips to claim your value and rock your biz. So we are excited to share some tips with you today that will make a difference for you in really moving forward in your business in a big way. So I'm just curious if I can ask you a question and have you respond in the chat box. How many of you would like to expand the impact of your business? You know, that's one of your main desires, to expand the impact of your business. Just go ahead and put in an X if you'd like to really make a greater difference in people's lives. And then I want you to put a Y if you would love to make more money doing what it is that you do and that you love to do. Hopefully you're doing what you love to do. So, all right, great. Glad to hear that. I just really acknowledge you for taking the time out of your lives that are very full to spend this time with me here today. And I promise to make it worth your while. You are in the right place. I've got some answers for you that are going to help propel you forward in your business. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to make a greater impact and have more freedom at the same time. And then later on, I'll tell you about what I can do to help you beyond today if you would like to have more support. But what I'd like you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, something that you can write with, because you're going to want to take notes on what it is that we're talking about today. So my name is Regina Lovelace, as you likely know, and I love serving women entrepreneurs from around the world and helping to strengthen them in their businesses. And one thing that I've found that's delightful is that as we work on your business, it also refines your personal life. And I love seeing how people's lives become more full and their relationships improve. It just really touches on every area of life. So I'm going to go ahead and click off my cam so you can see the slides a little bit better. So there's something that you probably have come to find, as I have, that when you refine your business, you refine yourself. And this is both one of the great things about being an entrepreneur, and it also can be one of the greatest frustrations. Maybe you found that as well. Because then our own personal stuff starts showing up in our business and creating issues in our business. So, but I'll show you later how that can actually be helpful to see. So tell me what some of your frustrations are. How many of you struggle with getting more clients? I want you to just type in a Y if that's one of your greatest struggles. Getting more clients, and it may be getting the right kind of clients. You know, it may be that you would like to have that more refined, where you are in a niche that you're really comfortable with, and you're working with people that you absolutely love serving and really enjoy that. And my second question is if you can type in an A if you are having a hard time getting momentum and keeping momentum in your business, just staying motivated on what it is that needs to happen, what it is that you need to do. That can be tricky when you're your own boss, to propel yourself forward and continue getting things done. So just go ahead and type in an A if that's one of your challenges. So I am going to show you today that you, my friend, are the answer to your struggles. And I'm going to help you attract your dream clients and get the momentum that you need. When I first started my business, I felt like someone had stuck me in a slab of wet cement. Maybe you know that feeling. I was trying to take action, but it was like having a wrestling match with myself. Like having your foot on the gas pedal and the brake at the same time. It was really hard for me to keep momentum and to keep taking action. And I got help from other mentors, which was extremely helpful. But I still felt like I was going at a snail's pace for the first, several years of my business. And so sometimes I wasn't moving ahead because I wasn't taking the action that was needed. Like I had started a new program. Well, I created a new program, and I was praying one morning saying, okay, I really need clients. And the Spirit said to me, you have to actually tell people that you have a program before they can join your program. Like, okay, you're right. It's totally my fault. I need to put myself out there and let people know that I have this available. So sometimes it's really just our fault, and we obviously can identify I'm not making the progress that I need to because I'm not taking the action that is needed. But other times, and tell me if you can relate to this, I was really putting myself out there, and I was doing everything that I was supposed to do, and still nothing was happening. I wasn't getting that momentum that I needed to be successful and productive. To give you an example, one time I was teaching an online class. I had spent money having someone create a banner. I did paid advertising. I did introductory videos leading up to the class and telling about it. I did all the list of things that they say to do to be successful. And guess how many people signed up for my class? 0. Nobody signed up for my class. And I had an email list of several thousand people. And I really took it as a personal blow. I had spent weeks preparing the class material. I had put my heart and soul into this class that I had created, and nobody signed up, not one person. I just really felt like a failure. Does anybody know that feeling? Why don't you just go ahead and put yes in the chat box if you know how that is, where you have invested so much, just really put your whole self into your work, and that very little or maybe even nothing is coming back to you. Just go ahead and type yes if you've had that experience before. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So at that point, I remember lying in my bed crying and asking myself, what is wrong with me? And I usually, I'm a pretty positive person. I usually don't take quote unquote failure personally. I try to learn from it and think, okay, so what can we benefit from here, and just move on. But this time it hit me pretty hard. It really hit me on a very personal level. And I've learned a trick that I would like to pass on to you. And if you have a pen or a paper with you, or if you don't, hurry and grab one because you're going to want to take notes. I want you to write this down because it's very simple, but it's a very powerful tool to use when you're really struggling. And this is what you do. You start with a statement that describes the current situation, and then you follow it up by another statement of a greater truth. And I'll give you some examples. Like at this time, I could have said, I am rejected and I am still valuable. No one came to my class, but I have so much to offer. Not one person registered with me today, but I am treasured and I am cherished. So try that out. When you're having a difficult time, state what difficulty you're going through right in that moment, and then state a greater truth. My client fired me today, but I still have so many people to serve. You state what's going on right at that time, and then you go to a bigger truth of what is true that will help you to be able to move on. So give that a try. It's very powerful. So in this moment of despair, when I'm lying in my bed feeling like a failure because nobody has registered for my class that I've spent weeks preparing for, what I found out that I needed was myself. And so I discovered some things about me. I like taking the word discovered and breaking it into discovered, or in other words, uncovering yourself. And this is such a crucial point, this ability to uncover yourself, to get to the core of who you are in solving every problem in your business and any other area of your life. But very interestingly, what I've found about myself as well as others is that one of the things that terrify people the most is really looking at themselves. It's so fascinating to me that we do that. I had a situation where I was at a retreat in California, and we were pairing up, and we were going through this activity where we needed to get really deep with someone. And the thought in my head was, oh, good, I love being vulnerable. I love really opening up with people. And this little voice inside my head said, what are you talking about? You hide stuff from yourself all the time. And I thought, there's, to this certain level of myself, yes, I was open, but there was this deeper level of myself that I was so afraid and hesitant to look at and to go into. And so in the midst of my struggles and frustration and my despair, I decided to take things to another level and look at myself just in that raw form. Why are we so afraid to look at ourselves at that core level? I suppose that possibly we're afraid of being disappointed with what we find, but from my experience with people and with myself, the opposite is always the case. We find such beautiful things when we are willing to really open up to ourselves. Most of my adult life, I would have considered myself a pretty confident person, but I found in digging deeper that there was so much more. And most of my life, I would have told you that I had made an impact for good in the world, but I discovered that there was so much more that I had to offer. And I considered myself an open person with an open heart, but there was so much more. So when we come to know ourselves, it is such a beautiful experience to find all the wonderful, juicy, beautiful things that we have inside. And so now I'm able to move forward with much greater faith. I feel reassured and inspired in my work. I'm much more clear on who I serve, what I'm here to do, the support that I have, both seen and unseen. And the more confidence that you have in your work, it helps so much in attracting clients because they can see in you that you know that you have something to offer them. So go ahead and don't be afraid to dig deep with yourself and really find what's there, because you're going to find that there's such a treasure inside of you of what you have to offer people, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. So now I'm able to power my work from the core of who I am. And this is absolutely possible for you as well. So when you get clear on the core value of who you are, what you bring, and you gain confidence in the transformation that you offer to people, because that's really what they are seeking, is that transformation, then you can start charging what your services are worth. And that gives you the freedom that you crave. freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of energy. A lot of the times that's why we became an entrepreneur, is so that we could have that flexibility and freedom. And coming to the core of who you are and claiming yourself there is going to help you gain all of that. So there are 3 areas that I work with my clients, and these are very powerful in creating a successful business. So they're here, if you can see them on the screen, those who are on the computer: intrinsic value, inner genius, and unique voice. You know, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we find ourselves asking questions like, will I ever make it? Are there really clients out there for me? Do I have anything to offer? Can I make any real money? What if I put myself out there and no one wants what I have to offer? You know, these are things that entrepreneurs are struggling with all the time. And that is why it is so essential for us to start with that very first issue of intrinsic value. And so what I'd really like to get through to you, for you to really take in, this is probably the most important one. And until we claim this, our subconscious can sabotage us. And that's that you are priceless. No matter what's going on around you, no matter how your business is doing, no matter what your personal life looks like, your worth doesn't change according to the success of your business. You've got to keep that in mind. You know, you can put a price tag on the things that you offer, but you, my friend, are priceless. Your worth is continually in place. It does not change. So start by accepting yourself right where you are. I like to take my clients through an exercise that you start by picturing yourself as a sphere with many layers, kind of like a jawbreaker, and that each one of those layers represents something that you have identified yourself with, like your body image, your education, maybe your financial status, where you live, how you live, how you identify yourself in your relationships, just all these different things that you use to identify who you are. And then I like to take them in that sphere, that many-layered sphere, down a passageway of mist and allow that mist to just melt away all of those layers one at a time until it melts away until it's just down to this tiny little golden speck, until you just exist. And that little golden speck has tremendous value just because it exists. It doesn't need anything else. You don't need anything else to have value other than that you exist. So regardless of what choices you make, who you've been in the past, what accomplishments you've achieved or mistakes you've made, you are of tremendous value. So what I want you to do is I want you to just put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. And then I want you to repeat after me. I have tremendous value. I am cherished and I am worthwhile. My very existence is of great worth. Nothing can diminish my value. No one can diminish my value. My presence here makes the world a better place. I am of tremendous worth. Hopefully you can feel the truthfulness of those statements. The easiest way to identify truth is that it feels light. Even discouraging things that are true, like maybe finding out you have some sickness or whatever, there's still a lightness about it, that it's true. You're finding out what is truly going on. So when you say those statements, you can feel how light that feels. and that is a testimony to you that it is true. So as you claim that sweet and yet powerful value that you hold, it absolutely will benefit your business. Getting that core intrinsic value, just knowing that you have intrinsic worth. Okay, so once you have that in place, then you're ready to look at the second sphere, and that's inner genius. Now, every single one of us has abilities that are genius. You likely have seen some of this at times in yourself and in others, but I promise you there is more that you still have yet to uncover. You've perhaps heard of the truth that what you admire in others, you have within yourself, and that is why it draws you. That is very true. When you are drawn to something or someone that really catches your attention, it's because there's something in you calling, at least that's a part of it, calling for that, identifying with that, saying, that's me, I can do that. There's a part of you saying, I can do that. I know how to do that. There's a part of me that knows I can do that. So start observing that and seeing what comes up for you. You may want to start a list of things that really draw you, gifts, characteristics, abilities that draw you. Do you see people on stage or on a talk show or something and you're just really drawn to that? Start paying attention if it feels like there's something inside of you saying, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So when you step into your genius, that is when miracles begin to happen, when you find that sweet spot of yours. And it just kind of naturally unfolds and you find yourself saying things and you may not feel like it's as big of a deal as other people watching you and they think, how do you do that? And this usually happens when you're in an act of service. If you sincerely desire to create a transformation for someone who's suffering or whose life would be improved by what you offer, then life is going to give you opportunities to do just that. And if you can bless lives, that's an exchange of energy when they are paying you for that service, which is beautiful. When they pay you for that service, then it's like this infinity sign of this, I give, I receive, I give, I receive. And they are investing in themselves, which is really powerful for them. And we could have a conversation another day about charging the worth of your services. Not the worth of you, because you have intrinsic value. Okay, so when you are doing that and you are stepping into your genius and you don't have the intrinsic value thing in place, you may get caught up in yourself when you're trying to put yourself out there to your clients or your customers. You might start questioning your value. You might have fear of judgment from them. You may be hesitant to share yourself. So remember, it's not about you. It's about creating a change in the people that you serve. For example, for a coach to state confidently to someone, I know I can help you. That's not pride. If you know that you have an ability or a service that can shift the life of someone else and really bless them, then the most loving, selfless thing you can do is to let them know what you offer. And that doesn't mean your services are meant for everyone, but we'll address that in the next section. So this confidence, too, of you stating, if you can really grasp on to the fact that you have an inner genius and you have something beautiful to offer people and you have that confidence, then when you state your price to a potential client, it's so much easier. If you're struggling stating your prices, then try to step into a mindset of service, of I'm here to offer you something and I'm doing it for you. I know that this is going to bless your life. Do it for them, okay? All right, so I'm going to have you put your hand on your heart again. Take a deep breath. Let it all out. Okay, and I want you to see, now you can say, my heart was touched in the webinar today. Okay, so with your hand on your heart, I want you to repeat after me. I have gifts, to offer the world. I have gifts 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 to offer the world. I When I use my gifts, miracles happen. I have much to offer that transforms lives. I willingly share what I have and release fear of judgment. I am a genius. Thank you. You have such beautiful gifts inside of you. In fact, what I know is true is that you scarcely know who you are, and you scarcely know what you're capable of. So just keep digging. All right, we are ready to move on to the third section, unique voice. Every person has a unique vibration. It's the essence of who you are. So when I say voice, I'm not meaning your verbal speaking voice. I'm talking about on a molecular scale, just how you vibrate or how you resonate. And that is unique to you. You have your own unique way of showing up in the world. Have you ever seen a painting that seemed to fill your soul? Like you felt like just looking at it provided something for you and you just wanted to be with it for a while? That's because you needed what that painting was offering in its vibration. I've even had times when I felt like I needed the vibration of a certain color. Like it just felt really good to look at and be by that color. I might be in a store and think, oh, those turquoise towels over there, I just want to go over and stand by them. And it just feels good to be by a certain color. That's because it has a certain vibration. You have a unique vibration. You have a unique resonance. It just emits from you. It's the essence of who you are. And it comes out from you in every direction. And what you create contains that vibration of you. The work that you create, whether it's tangible or offering something like counsel, coaching, it resonates to you. And as you come to the core of who you are, like we've been talking about, you are going to resonate more clearly. It's like people can hear your inner song better. When you get down to that core of who you are and really claim that, your inner song is going to be more clear to other people. They're going to be able to hear it and thereby be drawn to your work. So people are drawn to you and your work because of the essence of you. The vibration that you provide is what they need. This is an important thing to keep in mind. What you offer isn't what everyone needs. Okay, not everyone needs your vibration, which is perfect. That's why we just all need each other in different connections. So don't take it personally if people say no to you. They may just need a different vibration right now, and that is perfect. If someone says no to your services, it may just not be the right time for them. Maybe later on they'll be ready for it and maybe not, and that's okay. It's important for you to honor their process and where they're at and know it's nothing personal. It makes it so easy when you can have that viewpoint of like, clients come, clients go, but I am resonating the truth of me, and that is drawing in exactly who it is that I need. And when you know that, it's more likely to happen. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time. Put your hand on your heart. I wanted to do this for each one so that you can get these statements really, just let them soak into you, into the marrow of your bones. Okay, take a deep breath. With your hand on your heart, repeat after me. I have a voice that is unique to me. As I honor who I am, others more clearly hear my inner song. They are drawn to my work because of what I provide for them. Others are filled as they partake of my creation. I am grateful to be me. Okay. I'm also a certified Simply Healed practitioner, so I do energy work. So I'm clearing the energy on anything that's arguing with any of these two. Just taking that away. You being you is the greatest gift that you can be to the world, that you can give to the world. So coming to the core of who you are, in the center of these areas is where the real juiciness is, that core zone. That's your happy spot. That's your happy place. So when you create and grow your business from that core, that's when your impact soars. And I can help you further with that process. I'm going to tell you a way that we can work together for free in just a little bit. So I wanted to share with you some words of a client of mine that I've been working with for the past 3 months, and she might even be on with us today. So this is Sweet Ruth. She says, I love working with Regina. She has been very instrumental in helping me release blocks and heal my heart. Because of her insight, encouragement, and wisdom, she has led me to find truth about myself, which is empowering. The changes I am making are helping me soar both personally and professionally. One thing that I want you to notice about her words is her soaring personally and professionally goes back up a few lines to where she says, find truth about myself. That is what is so powerful. And that is what I love helping people do, is really coming to find the truth about themselves, the power that you really have inside. You know, as you come to your core, it is absolutely empowering. You know, you've got such beautiful stuff in there. I really believe, and hopefully you'll really take in my words, that deep inside you are highly refined. And as you work to reveal that refined core, that you'll be amazed with what you find is already there. So remember what I said earlier. You scarcely know who you are and what you're capable of. You've only caught a glimpse. There's so much more. We have a little visualization to do in just a minute. So hopefully you're somewhere where you'll be able to sit comfortably and close your eyes for just a few minutes. But before I do that, I just want to tell you the secret to finding yourself at your core. And it may surprise you what the secret is. And it's serving others. Now, I'm not talking about doing for others in a way that leaves you drained, that's motivated by a feeling of obligation, or that's filled with drudgery or dread. That kind of doing for others doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve you or the other people involved. So what I'm talking about with service is offering your gifts in a way that is filled with heart, that feels joyful, that feels balanced. And this way of showing up fills the soul of everyone involved. There are times that you may feel exhausted after serving in that way, but it's a satisfying exhaustion. It's not I just had my soul sucked out and I'm being pulled in so many different directions and everyone is draining me. You know, that's not the kind of service I mean. I mean the kind of service that when you give from your heart, it fills you at least as much as it fills them. Okay. So now I want to take you through an exercise. So if at all possible, get someplace where it's kind of quiet, where you can not have any distractions at all. Just try to stop. If you've been doing anything else, just try to stop for a few minutes. Get in a comfortable place so that I can have your undivided attention. Just try to be uninterrupted. Okay, so I want you to take a few deep breaths. Just close your eyes. relax and get comfortable. What I want you to do is I want you to picture yourself on the sidelines of a stage. You're just in the side curtains. And you're looking out onto the stage. You see that there's a spotlight and a microphone, maybe a chair there for you to sit on. You're not too worried about that right now. What your attention is drawn to right now is that you're holding a box in your hand. And I want you to just look down and just see what this box looks like. Is it a treasure box? Is it a cardboard box? It can be any kind of container. So just kind of pay attention. There's always symbolisms when we visualize things, so it's a really powerful way to learn from yourself what's going on inside of yourself. So look at your box. Is it fancy? Is it simple? And why? Now you know that inside this box it contains those things in your business that give the greatest value to others. Okay, so you're holding this box, and also pay attention to how you're holding it. Are you holding it like it's valuable to you, like you treasure it? Are you holding it like it's mine, keeping it away from others, kind of like a Scrooge kind of a hold? How are you holding the box, and how do you feel about the value of the box? Okay, so now you're going to look out to the stage. You see that spotlight, and you know that in just a moment, you are about to walk out there, and the seats are filled with people, and you're going to show them what's in your box. So how does that feel? How do you feel about sharing what's inside of this of such great value to those people? Some people in the audience are people that are new to you and new to your work, and others are people that you have worked with in the past, whether it went well or not. There are some of those out there. Okay, so just take a deep breath and notice how you're feeling and anticipating walking out there. And when you're ready, I want you to just picture yourself walking out onto the stage. I can feel that some of you are hesitating. Take a deep breath if you need to. It's going to be okay. You're protected. You're safe. All is well. This is a secure environment. Everything's okay. It's okay for you to walk out there and share what you have to offer. Okay, that feels better. So walk out onto the stage. And in that spotlight, you are going to open your box. If you have anything that you want to say into the microphone, either before or after you open your box, feel free to express yourself. Pay attention to your words. Maybe jot them down, write them down. Okay, so as you're showing the audience what's in your box, I want you to glance down and look in it too and see if there's anything in there that you can identify, and just write down some notes or keep it in mind of what it is that you see in there. Again, there might be some symbolism there. It may be just very obvious of something that you sell or whatever. Okay. So now, after you have shared this, I want you to look around and just notice the various responses that you see or that you perceive from the audience members. Are they varied responses? Are they very similar to each other? When you feel like you've sufficiently shared what you have to offer and sufficiently observed the response from people, I want you to notice that there's a little staircase that goes right in the front center of the stage, and it goes down an aisle that's right in the middle of, goes down the middle of the audience to the back of the room. And I want you to just take your box, close the lid. If it has a lid, take your box, walk down the stairs, walk down the aisle. If you care to look at the people at your side and take in a little more of the response that you get from them, listen if they're calling out anything or say anything, or if you are inclined to say anything to them, or, touch anyone on your way or whatever. and head to the back. And you're going to stand just outside the room, right by the door, to thank people and, have a connection with them as they leave. And so as people come out and they're filing out of the auditorium, you shake some hands. Some people particularly come up and talk to you for a little bit, and there you find that there's a line forming of people that have something that they would like to share with you. And you graciously listen. You might, touch their back or shake their hand or maybe embrace them, whatever feels natural for you to do. And several of these people, when they are shaking your hand, they stop and they look you in the eye and they tell you how powerful your work is and what an impact it has made on them. And you may even see a tear in their eye, or maybe they get a little choked up as they try to express to you what a difference you have made in their lives. You have really made a powerful difference. So just finish out with the line, and then you can picture the visualization just slowly fading away. And then I want you to get your paper and pen again, and I want you to just take a minute, just jot down some quick notes about what you saw, and then later on you can journal more about it and go more in depth because you'll learn more. But for right now, just jot down, a few words to remember the details. How did you feel sharing your gifts? Sorry. Were you hesitant? Was that comfortable for you? Did you see what was in the box? What was the response of people? If you saw anything in the box, make a list of what was there. How did people respond to you? And I encourage you to revisit this later and see if you can get more details and more information about this. It's very revealing of how you really feel inside. This I wasn't planning on sharing, but it's coming to my mind, that sometimes I'll have a conversation when I'm trying to do something in my business. I'll have a conversation with my child self, my adolescent self, and my young adult self. And that has been really revealing to me. Like one particular time I was planning on doing something that was out of the norm for me. And I just checked in with my child self of like, how do you feel about this? Because we can have parts of ourselves that keep us, sabotage us and cause this resistance. So this can help you to move through that. So I had the conversation with my child self. I was just writing in a journal, like, how do you feel about taking this action? And she was like, when do we get to play? Like, this sounds really boring. When do we get to play? So, I reassured her, we're going to play. Let's schedule in some play times. That's really good. I love it too. So then she was fine. Then I went to the young adult self, or the teenage adolescent self, and her response when I asked her was, well, what are people going to think? What if they think we're kind of weird if we do this? And so I was able to address the concerns there. And then I went to my young adult self, and the young adult self response was, that sounds really hard. That's going to be a lot of work. The young adult self has a little more realization of what's really going to go into this. And so then I could resolve concerns there. So just be aware that there are parts of yourself that might argue and keep you from moving ahead and what you need to do. So that's just a little tool that you can use. So write that down, that tool down on your paper. Talking to your child self, adolescent self, young adult self. Okay, so going back to the visualization, this will not only help you to understand what may be standing in your way of moving forward, but it also is a great creation tool to create that mental image of your actor story, for you to really get the emotion and everything going of who you're going to serve, how it affects their lives. That can draw you forward in a really powerful way. So use that to your advantage, because your subconscious doesn't differentiate between reality and perception. So that visualization provides evidence to your brain and to your subconscious that I make a difference. I move people. People are transformed by my work. And holding that energy of success helps to bring it to you. Okay, so just take one more deep breath. All right, so I want you to just think about what we've been talking about and some of the key principles that stood out to you. Maybe there's an area that resonated with you where you know that a change would be good to make in your business. I want you to jot that down on your paper. Maybe something that will help you go forward and make a more powerful impact in your business. Write those down. You may want to put actions I will take, because it's taking actions that create change. And as Stephen Pressfield says, this isn't an exact quote, but basically he says, what we most resist is what we most need to do. So if you find an area that I just hate even thinking about doing that, but you just keep going back to it, it kind of draws you, but at the same time you just dread it, there may be a reason there. And often what you resist the most is what you most need to do. So look at it, address what's going on there. And keep in mind, on this next slide, you being you is the greatest gift you can give to the world. Truly, truly is. So remember the three areas that we talked about: embracing your intrinsic value, that you have inner genius, and that as you resonate your unique voice, it calls to those who need what you offer. It draws them in. And remember the secret of coming to know yourself at your core. It's through offering your gifts from your heart, having a desire to serve in a way that is soul satisfying for all involved. And truly, we learn about ourselves in others if we allow it. If you have a client who drives you crazy, there is a precious gift for you there. That a conversation we can go into on another day. But allow them, those people that bother you, allow them to show you parts of yourself that you haven't been able to see. And not only will it help you come to know yourself better, but they may come to be some of your favorite people. So I'm going to say that again because it's very important. This is a very important truth, and I suggest that you write it down. Allow others to show you the parts of yourself that you haven't been able to see. It is a true blessing as we serve people, as we interact with other people. They help to refine us, especially if we allow that to. There's a reason for that familiar phrase, that person gets under my skin. Under my skin means that there's something in you that they are riling up, that they bring to the surface. And so a lot of the time people will just sever, I don't want to deal with that, when really I don't want to deal with that part of myself. Now, that doesn't mean that they need to stay in your life. It may be that what it is you need to face is the ability to stand up for yourself and say, this isn't working. This isn't a situation that is honoring. I'm going to choose a better way. And it's the standing up for yourself that's calling out and trying to get you to take action. So just keep that in mind, that you learn about yourself through other people. Okay, so from a space of service, I would like to serve you. I would like to offer you, because I have a true desire for you to get out and make a real difference in the world, I would like to offer you a free 20-minute business breakthrough consultation. You have such beautiful gifts to share that will truly make an impact on the planet. I believe in you, and I believe in what you have to offer. So I would love for you to set aside this 20-minute time for you and I to sit down together, either on the phone or on Skype if you're out of the country, or even in the United States. It's fun to see each other. And I would like to hear you tell me what your greatest struggle is right now in your business. And I would like to offer my help in finding a solution. I know from experience how nice it is to have support on what is my next step. And I want to help you with that. If you would like support beyond that, we can look at that possibility. If you'd like some coaching, but there is absolutely no obligation. I would be delighted to have helped you in taking the next leap forward. So that offer is to each of you. I've set aside some time in the next couple of weeks. One person that I did one of these free calls with, and they were so grateful for what transpired on that call that they mailed me a check for $100. Wasn't that so sweet? I'm not in any way suggesting that you do that, but I'm just simply showing you that setting aside the time to talk together can have great value. And with that check, there was a sweet note that said, "I can't thank you enough for your call. It had a major positive impact on my life. Bless you." So that may seem like a small portion of time, but a lot can happen in 20 minutes. We can get a lot done in 20 minutes. And I just wanted to share with you some words from sweet Laura, who says, "Regina Lovelace has been a beautiful gift from God for moving both of my businesses forward. Her insights were penetrating. She is very skillful in her work. She has been a huge strengthening factor for the powerful way that I have moved forward in the last year. I am a deeply grateful and satisfied client. So let's connect. Let's get together. Let me sit down with you. Let me show you where it is that we need to shift some things so that you can move forward." And of course, my easiest way to access my calendar is having issues right now. I found that even though you're a professional, that doesn't mean that issues don't come up, as you probably have found yourself. And so this is the long way to get to my calendar. If you type in live, L-I-V-E, Vicita, VCITA.com /site, SITE, /Regina, REGINA, .Lovelace, LOVELESS. Or if you prefer just emailing me directly, it's regina@revealing-u.com. So I would love to get together. I would love to have time to connect with you and move you forward, especially with being a Simply Healed practitioner with energy work. We can move a lot of stuff and get things really going in that short amount of time and make a big difference. I would like to close by playing a little video for you, and after that, we have a few more minutes if anybody wants to stay on for a Q&A, if anybody has time and wants to ask any questions. I'm open to doing that. So while you watch the video, you can be thinking if you have any questions for me. So thank you. Bless you all for coming. I'm just so grateful for you.
Hi, Michelle Walker here. And I just want to pass on a message if you're thinking about working with Regina. I went to Regina with a couple of big things that I wanted to sort through. I had some very pragmatic things that I wanted to do that I wanted to get her experience and her creative input with regarding my business growth and development. And she did the most amazing job. I'm a creativity coach as well, and she just brought this whole other world of thoughts that just had me sparking off ideas, things I would never have thought about, and they had such a profound impact. The other aspect of the work that I've been doing with Regina is at a much more personal and spiritual level, and she brings the most divine energy to any coaching session. She read through some messages for me that really touched and opened up my heart. So if you are thinking about working with Regina, I thoroughly recommend it. She is such a gorgeous, gentle energy with such profound wisdom that you will no doubt make big changes and that you will be able to achieve the growth that you want and do all of that with ease in using her support. So I just recommend working with her. It will have the outcomes that you want.